Okay. So when you think of what makes a location unique or special, what is the first thing you think of? A lot of people would say culture or jobs in that area, but for me, I believe it's the community because the people make up most of those, the culture and the jobs. So to get into my topic, I wanted to look for what can make a community thrive or make it fail. So I decided to look into some place that's near and dear to me, and that would be my home, Harlan County. And to get into that, we have to look into what kind of stuff happened in Harlan, like the stats of growth and stuff like that throughout Harlan's time and the history of it. So, starting off, Harlan were farmers for the most part until they started mining coal around the early 1900s. Around the early 1900s, that's when it really boomed. Coal started taking off with the first ever shipment of coal going to western Kentucky. After this, people flocked to Harlan County, almost tripling its population. And as this went on, from the beginning of time to the earliest 1920s, we can see the coal slowly start to climb at a curve. It shot up to rounding about 15 million tons of coal production per year. And within that, the people began to come because there were so many jobs being put into a place that normally wouldn't have it due to low opportunities for education. And most of these people were all farmers at the time, so it offered a steady income during the winter. But what was bad about this is within so many people coming, it wasn't regulated the best it could have been. So there was a lot of deaths and a lot of people injured on the job. Throughout this time, things started happening around the 1930s after the Great Depression. The people got back in, and what had happened was the events known as Bloody Harlan. So the union was still taking its dues from the workers, and they were not making any strides to change the working conditions or improve them for the miners. So they ended up often getting into violent situations and riots over it. After a certain amount of time, things started changing. The divorce rate shot up 80% in Harlan County around this time. People's families and lives were being torn apart. And with World War II coming around, it just got worse. World War II happened, the demand for coal shot up, yes. But right after that demand hit its almost peak at trying to recover, it started to slowly decline back down. All the way down until it hit another peak around 1980, 1990, it shot back up again. But after this, we look at a flat steady rate until 2008 when Obama started administering new restrictions on coal. During this, 1,780 jobs were lost, most of those being in the Harlan County area. And to think all that income and everything was lost at this amount of time. A local businessman started out, Jesse M. Blanton, and he was making around $7,000 back in the 1930s. And this is just for a reference. That today would be close to $95,000 a month. And to strip that from the economy kind of crippled it to a certain extent. Now, I don't make this documentary to try to point fingers at anybody for enforcing restrictions. I do this to hopefully set an image and a reminder for people that it's not a good idea for us to base our civilizations and our societies around a singular resource that's finite. It's hurt so many people in the past. I hope with this we can help prevent people from having to go through that struggle, families losing each other. And that's all I got to say.